This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. We're broadcasting from Paris, France, from inside the UN Climate Summit. Among those who took to the streets this weekend of Paris in peaceful protest Sunday was the French farmer, activist, and politician José Bové, one of the world's leading critics of corporate globalization and genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. Bové is a sheep farmer who became famous for helping to destroy a McDonald's under construction in France to protest trade policies that hurt small farmers. In 2009, he was elected to the European Parliament. I caught up with him in the streets of Paris on Sunday.
My name is José Bové. I'm, in this moment, European deputy.
And what are your thoughts on the UN COP and what's coming out of this climate summit in Paris?
Well, I'm not sure that this summit is going to reach what we need, because all the governments, they want to stay in their own way to go, and the big companies are there also supporting the summit, and they don't want to change anything. That's why for the moment, for example, I'm here with the Indians from Ecuador, which are fighting against Exxon and all the big companies. And in this moment, the companies, they don't want to change anything. So we know clearly that if we don't keep the oil inside of the earth and we still use it, we're not going to be able to change. That's why we say clearly that it's not the climate that we have to change, it's the system.
You're a Frenchman. The major climate march was canceled after the terror attacks of November 13th. Do you think the environmental activists should have marched anyway?
Well, I think that the alternative we built with this human chain was a good thing to say. It's not because the demonstration was stopped, was forbidden, that we're not going to do something. And so this is the beginning. And during these 2 weeks, many demonstrations are going to be going on. Not maybe big ones, but we don't know. Because we have now to make pressure. We have a big problem with the French government in this moment. Because since now a few days, they arrested several people from the movements, the movements which are fighting against climate change. They have been arrested. People had been their house opened by the police, and some of them now are not allowed to go in the street, have to stay in their home. They are in prison in their own home. This is a scandal because they used the laws which has been put on against the terrorists to fight now against the social movement. This is not acceptable. So that's why we're also here to say this has to change. This is not, we're not going to accept this. And if we have to go in the street, if we have to make some demonstration, we'll do it, even if it's forbidden.
And France's policies around climate change?
Well, the problem is we have a big problem in Europe. Europe is not at the level it should be. We should be now in the front line. But unfortunately, we have also big companies, and the governments are now behind these companies. Total and all the nuclear companies, industrial agriculture, which is pushing very strong in France and at the European level. So even what the European Union said, we have to get lower using of carbon. In fact, this is still not enough. We know this is just the minimum of the minimum, but it's not going to stop, unfortunately, the climate problem.
You became the poster boy of anti-corporate activism in 1999. The World Trade Organization protests in Seattle. Explain what you did here in the south of France.
Well, it's very simple. In 1999, you know, it was the beginning of WTO. And Europe refused to bring, coming from the United States, beef treated by hormone, which is used in the United States.
Beef treated by hormones.
Yeah, beef treated by hormone. This is forbidden in Europe because we had a big social fight to forbid, because it's dangerous, it's cancerogen. So we say we're not allowed. We blocked this beef coming inside, and WTO give to the United States the capacity to put sanctions against 60 European products. And that in compensation because they couldn't have their market. That's why one of these products was the Roquefort cheese, which we do in my region. And we said, okay, we're not allowed to sell this Roquefort cheese because we refuse to let in the beef treated by hormone. Okay, that's not a problem, but your junk food is not also going to come in. And that's why we dismantled a McDonald, which was in building, they were building it in France, in Millau at that moment. And that was a very big mess.
So you dismantled the golden arches. And where did you put them?
Not only that, all the
building.
The building, yeah.
And where did you put it?
And we put it in the administration house and say, now you keep all this stuff here, and when they stop with the fact that they want to bring beef treated with hormones, you can give them back.
And what happened to you for doing this?
I went in jail. I was arrested. I went to jail, and I was sentenced for several months of jail. I went to Seattle, and we made a very huge demonstration, lot of demonstration.
Outside the McDonald's there.
And just in front of the McDonald's in the center of Seattle, we distribute more than 500 kilos of Roquefort cheese. And it was a very big joke, very funny thing. And Danielle Mitterrand, which was the wife of François Mitterrand, was with us to distribute the Roquefort. And it was very funny. And we made a lot of funny things. Unfortunately, since that moment, since 2006 now, I'm not allowed to go back to the United States.
You're banned?
I'm banned. I've been put out by plane. When I came back in 2004, I was allowed to go, but in 2006, the Bush administration said, no, this guy has not allowed to come back anymore. The problem is that you have ALENA, the ALENA treaty with Canada and Mexico, the economic treaty. That means that also
NAFTA.
Mexico says you're not allowed also to go in, and Canada the same. As the fact that Canada says you're not allowed to come in, Australia, New Zealand said the same. So now I'm forbidden from a lot of countries because the American administration told me in 2006 that I had been sentenced for moral turpitude. And I say, what is moral turpitude? On the green card, when you go inside the United States, this is a very few words, moral turpitude. You're not allowed. I say, what is that? They say you attack the economic interest of their companies. And that's why, and the Obama administration didn't change anything. So even now, I'm a European deputy, I'm still not allowed to go inside the United States. In the moment where we are discussing of this big, stupid treaty between the United States and Europe. This is quite incredible.
That's French farmer activist and politician, member of the European Parliament, José Bové, one of the world's leading critics of corporate globalization. José Bové attended the WTO protests in 1999. Today is the 16th anniversary of the Battle of Seattle.